Hello and welcome to today's BoldTrail Academy. Steve Hillier, Alex Dyer. We're here and we are talking about daily executions. And it's our current series that we're doing. So if you missed last week's session, it's here in the school classroom. And I've created a new classroom for this series. My 13 weeks of BoldTrail Basics is there. I've gotten several calls about that over the last week. Um, and then I was just talking about this Cabo. I took the presenters at Cabo and I broke them down into really detailed um, analysis of what the content was. So
There's some extraordinarily good training down there.
yeah. So if you're interested in, if you didn't go to Cabo and you want to have the Cabo experience,
Better get into school.
yes, yes. And then yesterday we were at PCAR, Placer County Association of Realtors, for an AI presentation. And for those of you that were there and asked me, yes, it will be in the classroom community. Um, I'll put it in there. So before we get started, I want to jump in. I always like to go and do a couple of reviews to remind people of resources that are out there. This is the Krista Mayshore video. I was working on that this morning, and it's on the Brent Gove YouTube channel. If you haven't been to the YouTube channel with Brent, all of his resources are there, all the videos that he does, and that's where I go to get my video content.
I'm going to share with everybody real quick. Brent's YouTube channel is one of the most powerful recruiting things that you can offer someone. So when I take someone and show them what we're doing here in EXP and give them, the overview, I will take them to Brent's YouTube and I'll play a couple clips and just give them a taste of what they can experience.
Yeah.
And if they go back and start listening to those different trainings
Yeah.
from Build or Cabo or Maui, they realize what we are as a culture and they join you. So
Yeah.
use the tool.
Yeah. And it's broken down into playlists. And like I say, it's a resource that I go to if I happen to miss a meeting, or maybe I'm in a meeting and really want to get detailed information about it. I go there and I will get into it. So this is the Cabo 26 main
Did
playlist.
we get Pace Morby on there?
Yeah, Pace Morby's in there.
Oh, you guys, you want to understand alternative financing and some crazy ways to take deals down? Please go listen to Pace Morby. It'll blow your mind.
Yeah, in fact, with Pace Morby, I went into my Claude and created a project for Pace Morby, and I downloaded like a dozen of his videos. I put it into my Claude and made a project out of Pace Morby to understand all of his different processes. Pretty amazing. But anyway, I just want to point that out. Over here on my, this is my personal page for Facebook. I want to show you that I posted my video here this morning, an hour ago, and this is my weekly video. Every week I put a video out there. I post it on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, as well as Reddit. The reason I do this is because I really want to show up in AI searches. And so I do it every single week. So if you're not, if you don't currently have a YouTube channel, if you're not currently doing a weekly video, I think it's a missed opportunity. So really look into that. Getting into Brent's site, this is his website. And we always like to look at his upcoming events. And we just had an event that was off calendar yesterday. It's an AI event, and we'll have that posted. But he has this full calendar. Steve, talk about the speakers that come in to our board of realtors through Brent.
Well, looking at this group of speakers right now, I actually don't know one of them that isn't, except maybe Santa.
Yeah,
That's not a seven-figure earner in real estate.
Yeah.
These are some of the biggest, brightest minds in the world of real estate. And we're blessed to have them invited to come train and coach us.
Yeah.
And they're not for free, you guys.
No.
This is a big expense for the office and Brent. So please plug into them. And if you just ask the question of any real estate brokerage out there, hey, do you bring a seven-figure earner in every single month to train your agents? They're going to like, no. Oh, okay.
And so May 21st, you need to attend if you're on this call, if you're in the Sacramento area. You need to attend this event, and the most important thing is to bring a friend. Bring a fellow realtor because Sandy Payne here is going to talk about how she did 100 listings in 10 months. How in
Holy
the world did she do
smoky.
that? I will be there for that event. Going over to the New Vision page, we've talked about this. The New Vision page, Gary and Steve have done a great job putting this page together as a resource for agents, not just within the New Vision branch of EXP, but for all EXP agents. Go in there and click around, search, and there's some amazing resources in there.
And I would just point people to the resources and marketing. So when you're showing somebody what EXP offers, go to resources and marketing. The first two links, when you hover over that, is the first link is everything the team offers. And I personally would like you guys, if you'll scroll down, Alex, to those tiles, the lead generation tools. If you want someone to spend 15 minutes with you to learn about EXP, take them to our team site and give them all the lead sites that we use on our team. We close at least 10 escrows a month from this group of lead sites. They are wickedly powerful, and we've vetted them out. So use this tool.
Yeah.
And I would say everyone would be happy to take 15 minutes to learn about EXP if you give them something like this. So that's one of the advantages of using the team site. You can go and download that and give it out as a gift.
All right. So let's jump into what we're talking about today. In our series, we're talking about daily executions, and one of those daily executions is speed to lead. Speed to lead. It is so important in our industry. But within that space, Steve, when you're calling a lead, what's the most important aspect of that? Okay, so we've established speed to lead, but within that space, what are we saying? What are we delivering?
Well, you're looking to offer value, and what are they asking?
Yes.
They want to see a property, they want the value of a property. So it's learning quickly what they're asking and deliver it.
Yeah. So what I want to do today is I want to first of all call myself out because I didn't make my calls yesterday. I got 26 follow-ups to do this afternoon. Hey, it happens. We were in the seminar. Steve and I went to lunch. I had a property inspection. Things happen. I'm really good for 3 days a week doing my calls. That's the space I'm in, but I've worked hard to get to that point. And to that, I have a new lead right here that came in 10 hours ago. I have yet to try and contact this lead. How am I doing with my speed to lead on that one?
Probably terrible.
I'm not good. I'm not good. But really what I want to do here is get into this idea of speed to lead and offering something of value. And to that point, I want to show you that I'm going to post this in the chat, get rid of that. I've come up with some scripts, and I'm a huge fan of permission marketing. Seth, here's Seth's blog. Seth Gogan is the permission marketer. He wrote this book. And like I say, I highly recommend you read the book, but
Permission-based marketing, right?
it's permission-based. When someone opts in, when it's a sign call, it's a lead form, it's a Facebook lead, whatever it is, they're in the litigious area of spam emails, spam calls, whatever. When someone opts in, they're giving you permission.
And you need to be respectful of that, not blow them up.
That's right. That's right. And so again, within my Claude, I've created a project for permission-based marketing so that when I'm replying to emails, texts, whatever it is, building content, whatever it is, I'm building it based on permission-based marketing because it's very important. And we talked about this for literally 2 years now. We've talked about this. When you call a client, what is it that you're saying to that client? Is your goal to get an appointment to show property on that first call?
Sometimes it would be. I'd like to meet with them.
Yeah.
But you want to have an exploratory discussion.
And so within that space, what this platform offers is the ability to go in and give them something of value. So let me get to the right, yeah, I can go right here. So give them something of value within the platform. So what that means, so if I go into Dave Mustaine, lead singer of Megadeth, yes. Um, and say he's a new lead that registers. He's a new lead that registers. You can go in, and what I've put together within this document is you got to go in and you have to identify why that lead has registered. You know, what's their purpose? And you have to acknowledge that you receive their information and really get down to what their why is. You know, for me, the worst thing I that comes out of my mouth, I used to say it a lot, is I'm just following up. Don't say that. Don't say that. So I've given you some scripting, some concepts, and I don't know about you, Steve, but I work off two computer screens, and so when I'm doing lead follow up, I have this document in front of me. That way, I can handle objections and really get down into having a productive. Exactly what to say right there. Exactly what to say is the name of the book. Um, and so within this, when you make that call, you introduce yourself, simple language. This is Alex from EXP. Um, and then you get into referencing value. Referencing value. I sent you a feed. So what does that mean? So within this, you can set up search alerts. So when you have that lead that comes in, like right now, I'm doing a property boost on a 3-acre property in Granite Bay that's listed at 1,300,000. I'm sorry, 2.3. Very specific category of house. So instead of calling and saying, I want to show you this property, I'm not really offering any value. Am I?
Well, open the door.
I can open the door. But there's
Kind of
a
limited value.
there's a higher level of value that you can offer to them and saying, hey, I saw that you looked at this property. Here's a search alert. Here's other properties in that area that are similar, because they're not just looking at one property. You can do the same thing with a market report. Are you just interested in that neighborhood? Let's look at how that market's performing. The point is that you're offering them something of value. You're not going for a one-time close. And so when you're looking at that whole concept of speed to lead, what I've done within this document is really put together a cadence of what those phone calls look like, because I really want to bring value. I don't want to just go for the close on the first time. And there's a hierarchy of the different types of leads that you have coming in, and your response time can correlate to that. And this is all based on not just me talking, there's actual matrix out there. So if you're looking at a yard side call, someone that drove by your listing, scanned the QR code that you have on the sign, because now we all have QR codes that link back to our phones, right?
Right.
Right. So
Right.
when that call comes in, responding within 10 minutes really should be your priority. Now, in the case of doing property boosts, that's the one I use quite a bit for lead generation. I have two going right now. They're both 3-week posts. And so someone took the time to fill out a form. So imagine yourself sitting at your desk, taking the time to fill out the form. You expect a call a response pretty quickly. Now, within our systems, we have all that automation set up so that they get a text, an email, this sort of thing within a certain time frame that we advocate for. But the highest conversion is phone.
That's right.
One thing that I struggle with right now personally when I get phone calls coming in and text messages and this sort of thing is I know now that most of this stuff isn't real. It isn't real. And in fact, in that space, one of the big things I picked up from the meeting yesterday is because we can all have our voices cloned by AI. There's scams going on out there with families where a family member will call and say, "Hey, I'm stuck. I need $300. Please Venmo."
And now their AI voice that mimics the child or someone, and people are falling for these scams.
So it happened to my sister-in-law with her daughter, my niece. $350 gone. Create a safe word within your family. You and your family, your kids. I mean, you have
Bob,
whatever it is, create that safe word within your family so that when something like that
no
happens.
problem, Bob.
But getting back to the point here is that um, we need to be more authentic in our communication. And when we're doing our speed to lead follow up, it's great that we have all these automations, but the authentic phone call is really what's hidden. We want to be able to make that call. Within the warm buyer lead 3-day follow up, we've put together, Steve and I sat down and put together these responses when following up on warm leads. And all of this is designed to be able to use the tools within the platform. So in the case of calling Sarah, this is Alex EXP. I sent you a custom feed for the Roseville area on Tuesday. Did I catch you at a good time? So you offered something of value and then respected their time. For me, that's one of my pet peeves. When someone telemarkets me and they
go right into
just start diarrhea of the mouth. And I'm just like, I have nothing else better to do right now than to talk to you. I feel it's very respectful to say, look, did I catch you at a good time? And within that space, what I get out of it is, hey, I'm not interested right now, or I don't have time right now, but will you call me back on Tuesday? It's not always Tuesday, but Tuesday is a good example. And then you look for that response. And then you come in, you say, look, 2 reasons that I'm calling. Okay, so now you're giving that value proposition. I have 2 reasons, and now you're going to deliver those reasons. And those reasons are based on the tools that are within BoldTrail to be able to deliver back to them value. Because that's really what agents, I feel, we need to do in this market, is to be able to deliver that value. And you could talk about, in this case, it points out schools. So if they have kids, obviously schools is a huge consideration. And so you can respond back with a neighborhood report that's within BoldTrail as one of the tools that has a report on the schools. Constantly going in and delivering value back when you're making those phone calls. So the thing about the system that you need to remember, and I bring it up every week, is that the email deliverability is an issue. So it's not uncommon for me to go through and look at this note right here. See this subject, Colfax, California. It says email has not been opened. Email has not been opened. So what I do is I switch over to emailing the directly through my Outlook. Does it take more time? Yeah, it does. Does it take more effort? Yeah, it does. But my leads right now are costing me about $6 a piece. My average lead cost is $6. So I'm not here to try and save myself time in my follow-up. My goal is to make sure that I get in connection with them. So one of the questions I get when I do connect with a lead is, hey, I sent you that market report. I sent you these listings. I sent you the list, the information about the property that you inquired into. Did you get that?
Yes or no?
Yes, no, maybe. Oh, well, if you didn't get that, I could text it to you, because right here within the platform, you could switch over and you could text that link. My point is that when you're in that lead follow-up and you're focused on speed to lead, you're delivering that value, you have to pay attention to the deliverability of it. There is no simple fix to the deliverability issue. Just, it's important to be aware of it and say, okay, I have workarounds. Okay, so within that space, there is a smart assistant, and I covered it briefly last week when you're looking at the lead follow-up. And so when you're going into this and you're doing text, you can get into the smart assistant and you can say, property needs. And it'll go in and it'll formulate a text about property needs. Again, with all of AI, you have to read it, make sure it's consistent with your messaging. So a lot of what I do is I will, if I can't get a hold of them on phone, I will send them a text using Smart Assistant. The other thing I'll do is I'll call them from my phone. If I don't get a hold of them, I will take a video. John Kellogg taught me this. JT, you do a quick video. Hey, Alex here. I saw you just registered. I appreciate you checking in with me. I just want to make sure you're getting the information that you asked for. Please call me back. And what does that do, Steve?
Reinforces the fact that you're a real person, that you're there to help.
That's right. That's right. So in our day and age,
and I think the journey before you go any further in all the Mark meme is, can you establish you're legitimately a real person?
Yeah, we just spoke about that.
Because
yeah.
it's hard to tell these days.
Mm-hmm. And so if you're sending that video text to them and you're saying, hey, Dave, just got your inquiry on the property. I want to let you know that not only did I send that property, but I sent you other listings in that same category. Just want to make sure you got those. I'll follow up with you tomorrow. And that way you're setting an expectation for that next call. So speed to lead and scripting, obviously they go hand in hand. And I go over different scenarios for what to say in yard signs, lead form fill out, and then objections. It's not a good time. Hey, I totally understand. Two quick options. I can call you back later today, whatever, whatever. So go in there, look at the objections, and what I like to do is familiarize myself with these before I start making calls. That way, my mindset is in the right space. That makes sense?
Yeah. I think scripting is really important, everybody. And this is probably one of the more important ways to connect. We're starting up a real powerful lead platform. And a lot of these leads are going to take very specific action following down these steps, because when the leads come in, you got to connect, they got to follow up. And really, it's about a 7-point touch before you get some of them to respond.
Yeah.
So if you're going to call one time or two times, just realize the ratios are roughly 7 before they start to respond.
Yeah.
And that's why these scripting is important. You practice, practice, practice.
I was on the training call with Inside Real Estate, and Inside Real Estate owns the BoldTrail platform, and I've registered to be on these high level trainings, and they have inside sales agents that will do your lead follow up for you. And I'm to the point where I'm about ready to engage with that because it gives me anxiety. They have 26 follow ups to do today, knowing everything else I have to do. So my business, because I've so invested in using the platform, it's starting to scale for me, which is very rewarding.
That is actually the message of the day, Alex, because you've spent several years building this. Now you're at a point where you have to find help to assist with all it's created.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. So within that space, when we're on these calls, the inside sales agents are giving us their feedback in doing the phone calls as inside sales agents for BoldTrail users. And what they're finding is that it's not necessarily that they're not interested in real estate. It's just that they're not interested right then. And the key is to be able to reach them at the right point where their mindset is in that real estate space. And so they're finding that sometimes they're calling people 4, 5, 6 times, not all at once, not all in the same week, but just in a cadence that doesn't necessarily bother them, but is able to connect with them.
And if people are plugging in with our 12-week program, which we constantly are rolling, it's 4 days a week where you plug in and you can make calls to your client. And the question a lot of agents will ask is, who do I call?
Yeah,
Well, build a database of people, and that's what we're trying to coach you. So you'll always have outbound calls to make,
yeah,
and outbound calls to people that are raising their hand.
yeah,
And that's why you marry this work that we're doing here on this platform with stopping for an hour 4 times a week and just making these calls. It's not any more complicated than that, and you'll literally light the world on fire.
yeah. It's about being consistent in that. So that's what I have for you guys this week. That Word document that I've referenced, it will be in the school platform when I post this video, and I'll try and get it posted later today because I feel this is it's a tool that we should all be using. I worked all week putting this together. It wasn't something that was done in 10 minutes. And when I came out with that, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So I'll make sure I get this posted, but go in there and use it and start being more mindful about that speed to lead and driving value using the tools within the BoldTrail platform. That's my message for you guys today. So with that said, what I want to do is stop this recording and then I'll restart it and take questions. So I see we have
I just want to make sure that we have the school link in the chat right now for people to join. And if anyone out there needs physical hands-on support, like an hour consultation or someone to help set up your database, Alex does offer that. So connect with him directly. It's what, $400, you can set them all up.
Yep. Yep.
Money well spent.
All right. So the link to school, if you haven't joined, it's now in the chat. And you can go in and join. It doesn't cost you anything. You have to set up an account. Within the different ways that you can post content out there, this is the best of the platforms that are available. None of them are perfect, but that's why I've chosen this one. It's the best that's out there that I've found. So yeah, it's free to join. I'll approve you guys, and like I say, we're at 370 members. I remember when I reached 200, that was a big deal, and now we're approaching 4. So
So we're going to close this down and we're going to open up for a little bit Q&A. Steve, thank you. Castaneda, thanks for your nice comments. We appreciate that. You're right. It's always worth having people do the simple tasks for you, or you are doing the simple tasks. Well, there's a simple saying